Hey y'all. So we're skipping. It's weird. Okay, so I'm in quarantine. Hi. We're skipping this one for now. 5.5. We're gonna skip it. When I get back, we'll do this one because it's just easier to do in like when I'm there because it's longer. And then this one, synthetic division, is a little bit easier to learn on your own. So that's why we are skipping it. We will go back to it. But as of today, for Monday, I don't even know, is it the 15th? Yep, November 15th. We're going to do day 6. So your homework is going to be a Go Formative over this stuff. Sorry about the mess. I'll be back hopefully Wednesday. COVID tests are really hard to track down. So should be back Wednesday and we will be good to go. But I apologize for the messiness lately. I'll make it up to you somehow. So we'll just start out with synthetic division. So how this works, it's whenever you divide by, notice how all of these are just x plus or minus something. So in order to use synthetic, like look at all those, you cannot have something in front of the x. So that's where the stuff that we skipped, if there's ever like a 2 in front of here, 2x minus 1, you wouldn't be able to do synthetic. So you would have to go and do what we skipped. So that's why we eventually will do it, but for today we are not. So how synthetic works is we're taking this polynomial and we are dividing by this binomial, which is just x minus 1. And how you work through it is, you see how it's x minus 1? We set up this little thing, but we use the opposite sign of that factor. So I'm going to use a positive 1 for that. It's always going to be the positive or the opposite. So this would be a positive 1, this would be a -3, -1, positive 1 type of thing. And then for what we're going to set up here are just the coefficients, so the numbers in front of each part that you are the original polynomial. So the thing that's in front of the x cubed is a 1. The thing that is in front of the x squared is a 3. And then we have a -1 here, and we round it out with a -3. Okay? You set up this weird looking table here. And then I like to draw this little dotted line down here because what happens when we divide is sometimes we have a remainder, so something that's left over. So we might not always get this perfect polynomial without any leftovers. So our leftover is going to go right in here. So it's a weird type of pattern. So I put a plus sign there because there's going to be addition and there's going to be multiplication. So our first thing that we're going to do is drop down our 1. Okay, so our 1 just drops down. But then here's where we are going to start multiplying. So you always multiply diagonally. So 1 times 1 is 1. So that 1 gets placed right here. Okay? Here's where the addition comes into play. That's why I put it here. We add these two together. So 3 plus 1 gives me a 4 down there. And now we do that same pattern again. So we're at the diagonal part, so we're going to multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we add. Okay, so -1 plus 4 is a +3. And then pattern again, we're at the diagonal. 1 times 3 is 3. And then we add. Okay, so -3 plus 3 is 0. This right here is your remainder. All right, that right there is called the remainder. So this one divides perfectly. We're going to see how we write the answer, but there's a remainder of 0. Sometimes we're going to have a remainder of like 4 or 5, whatever. That would just be on your Go Formative. You're just going to circle that. You're not going to type that in your answer at all. So how we're going to handle this part is our answer always drops down a degree. So our original degree was a 3. So our first part, these are all our coefficients. Our first one's going to be an x squared, and the coefficient with the x squared is going to be this first number. So it's going to be 1x squared. And then you just keep going down the line. So the next one would be x, so plus 4x plus 3. That's how those kind of come out of your synthetic and create your answer. You just always have to remember to drop it down to a degree from the original. Okay, so it was a cubic function. Now it's going to be a squared, a quadratic. Okay, so that would be your answer that you type into Go Formative with a remainder of 0 that you would just circle. Okay, so let's try it again. We are going to set up our synthetic. I'm going to erase the word remainder and just put R so that I have room. First thing, the thing that goes in the little box is this factor, but it's the opposite sign, so it's going to be a -3 in the box. And then all of these coefficients, so 3, 17, 21, and -9. Draw your little setup here. I like to, again, put the little dashed line because my remainder is going to go over here, and we're just going to start with the process. So if you got the process, go for it. If not, just follow along. Drop the 3. That's always your first step. Now we start with multiplying. -3 times +3 is -9. This is where we add. -17 minus 9. Gosh, I'm blanking. 8. And then we're going to multiply. -3 times 8 is -24. Add -21 plus -24 is a -3. And multiply. -3 times -3 is a +9. Okay, this is where, again, we're going to find a remainder, but -9 plus 9 is a remainder of 0. So once again, we have an R of 0. So you can do that on your Go formative, or you can circle it, whatever you wish, okay? So writing our answers, we were a cubic at the beginning, but now we're going to be a quadratic. So this one's going to be paired with the x squared. So it's going to be 3x squared, and then just go down the line, plus 8x minus 3, done, with a remainder of 0. All right? So we aren't going to do all of these, but I do want to handle something like 3, because we haven't seen this yet, where we're missing something. So notice we have x cubed, we have x squared, but we're missing the x. This is huge, that you have to put placeholders in. So let me start setting it up. The factor, of course, is a +1, so it's going to be a -1 in the box. Start setting up your coefficients. So you have a 5x cubed, you have a 1x squared, but you have a 0x. You have to put that 0 in there for the fact that you're missing it, and then you have the -7. Because if you forget this 0, you're going to be off. Like, you will never get the right answer. So you have to put a placeholder in here saying that we're missing an x. So here, just looking at 5, you're missing an x squared, so you're going to have a 0. You're going to have a bunch of zeros for 6. We'll do 6, okay? So you have to put placeholders in. That will, when we back up to do the lesson we skipped, you will see placeholders there as well. So let's set it up. Drop the 5. Multiply -5 times, or +5 times -1 is -5. 1 plus -5 is -4. I'm going to start multiplying here. -4 times -1 is +4. Add 4. And then multiply. +4 times -1 is -4. Now here, look, this is our first one where we have a remainder. -4 plus -7 is -11. That right there on your homework, you're just going to circle it, is your remainder. You don't have a clean division. There's something left over, okay? But our answer that we're going to type into Go Formative is still just the answer that we pull from here. You're just going to have to circle the remainder so I know that you know what that means, okay? We're dropping it down a degree. It was a cubic. Now it's going to be a quadratic. So 5x squared minus 4x plus 4, okay? And if you just circle the remainder of -11, I'm fine with that, okay? But I will check to see if that number is correct, so. All right? So if you want to try 4, go ahead. I'll put the answer up there. Okay, so this one's a little weird because you get a remainder of 0. However, you also have a 0 in your answer. So I'm okay with however you write this. Just fine. Like, if you put this, you drop it a degree, 1x cubed minus 1x squared plus 0x plus 1, that's fine. Or if you just skip over the 0x and go 1x cubed minus x squared plus 1, I don't care, okay? So that right there would be your answer with a remainder of 0. All right? Last one we're going to handle as a group here before I just let you work, is one where we have a bunch of placeholders. So our 6, number 6, we're dividing by x minus 1. So that would be the thing that goes in the box. But I would do this to kind of help yourself out. Write this out with all of your zeros. So we have a 0x to the 4th. We have a 0x cubed. We have a 0x squared. We have a 0x, and then we have our minus 1, okay? That might help you set up your synthetic. So when I start to set up, well, the positive 1 goes in the box, because opposite sign of this guy, and then we put a 1 for the x fifth, but then 0, 0, 0, 0, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you forget 1 0, you are going to be off. You won't get the right answer, so be careful. No pressure. So drop your 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Add, 0 plus 1 is 1. Multiply is another 1. 0 plus 1 is another 1. It's a lot of ones. And then multiply again, add again, multiply again, add again, and multiply. But here, look, woohoo, we get a remainder of 0. Woo, yay. So our remainder works out, it's 0, and it's just a bunch of ones. Make sure you drop it a degree. Please don't forget, we started with a 5, so we have to, our answer is going to be a 4. So it's going to be 1x to the 4th. And then just keep going down the line. 1x third plus 1x squared plus 1x plus 1 with a remainder of 0. Woohoo! Okay, so hopefully that is something you could pick up pretty nicely on a video. If you need help, email me, but I'll be watching your GoFormatives to make sure you're doing it right. Please, in your GoFormatives, put your little synthetic charts so that I can see like what you did wrong, okay? So I want to see this. It's not a lot of work to write out, so please put that on your GoFormatives. But I will hopefully see you Wednesday. Yay, miss you guys. Stay out of trouble, stay in school. See you around.